You know, I don't think that this costume is as scary as my friend said it would be. What do you think, Kevin? Yeah, okay, I'll change. Happy Halloween, Pokemon fans! So, my favorite holiday is upon us, and so to celebrate, I figured what better way than to talk about some creepy things in Pokemon. But since most of the spooky stuff in Pokemon has already been beaten into the ground, I figured we'd take a deeper look into Pokemon to see if we can't find some nice and creepy things deep within the lore. So today we're going to talk about 7 Pokemon who, despite their appearance, are actually based on some pretty creepy things. But there's a twist. No ghost types. Seems pretty challenging, right? Luckily, I decided to bring in some help.
Hey everybody, my name is Kevin Krust, and Speqtor, can you put the panda suit on again?
Yeah, that's not happening.
Fine. Before we get started, we have to make sure you guys know that these Pokemon are in no particular order. But because it's Halloween, we will save the most surprising and creepy one for last. With that being said, let's get spoopy.
We'll start this off with one that's a little more well-known, Moale. Fundamentally, Moale is already pretty intimidating, but its basis is even more so. Moale is based on the Fudakuchi Onna, a yokai that takes the form of a woman with a mouth on the back of her head.
Fudakuchi Onna were said to come into being when a woman eats too little. The back of her skull splits open, forming a mouth under her hair, and becoming a yokai. If not fed, the mouth would emit ear-piercing screams and even cause pain to the woman.
On top of eating double what the woman would normally eat, the second mouth would also use the hair of the woman as hands to take food for itself, and would even whisper evil and terrible things into the woman's ear. Man, talk about a bad hair day.
Next up is the ice hooker herself, Jinx. Jinx is based on Yamauba, a yokai that lives in forests and on mountaintops. There are many stories about Yamauba, but the most well-known is that of a seemingly normal old woman who gives refuge to weary travelers, waits for them to fall asleep, and then reveals her true form and eats them.
Another tells of a pregnant woman who is traveling through the mountains and suddenly goes into labor. An old woman appears to help deliver the baby, only to reveal herself as the yokai afterward and eat the baby.
And finally, there's one story that tells of a Yamauba who kidnaps small children and nurses them before devouring them. So if you see Jinx, run.
Green slime already has a very spooky and Halloween feel to it, but on Goodra, not so much. That is until you realize that Goodra is based on the Lucar Coal, a mythical serpent from French folklore.
Lucar Coal was said to be both a serpent and a snail, all wrapped up into one giant beast. It would live in underground caves, living amongst its own slime.
With long, slimy tendrils at the side of its mouth, Lucar Coal would snag and reel in any victim that it could get its hands on and swallow them whole. Suddenly, Goomy isn't so cute anymore. Okay, yeah, that's a lie. Goomy's still really cute.
Straight out of medieval Europe is Aromatisse. Despite its can-can dance and masquerade-themed appearance, both Aromatisse and its pre-evolution Spritzy are based on plague doctors.
Plague doctors, as the name would suggest, were doctors appointed during the time of the bubonic plague. They wore masks that resembled the face of birds and stuffed the beak with potpourri and various smelly things to help block out the smell of sick people and death. Their job was to use the known medical methods of the time to help tend to sick people who were infected with the plague. Unfortunately, modern medicine wasn't around at the time, so the methods that they used were often very gruesome and unsuccessful.
Because of their line of work, plague doctors quickly became known as a symbol of death. Where a plague doctor was seen, death would soon follow. Thankfully, hipsters have turned the plague doctor mask into a cringy steampunk staple, so it's become significantly less creepy.
Coming in at number 3 is Executor.
Boo!
Our coconut-clad friend here gets its basis from the legend of the Jinmenju, a tree that grows fruits shaped like human heads.
Deep in the remote mountain valleys of China is where the Jinmenju grows, which bears its fruit shaped like human heads. The heads were said to smile and laugh even when they fell from the tree, which explains Executor's constant cheery expression.
If you don't know why this is creepy, go watch the music video for Obscure by Deer and Grey. That shit is nightmare-inducing.
Hi, this is Speqtor from the future telling you to not do what I just said that you should do, because that video is pretty fucked up and you probably shouldn't watch it. I mean, that's to be expected from a Japanese metalcore band, but, you know, don't do it unless you want to see some fucked up shit. Anyway, back to the video.
Pin this one up as more surprising than it is creepy. But it's also pretty creepy. Disregarding their less than scary appearance, Bronzor and Bronzong have a backstory that's quite macabre, with their inspirations coming from a story in the book, Quaidin's Stories and Studies of Strange Things.
The story tells of the priests of Mugenyama who want to forge a bell for their temple, asking the local women to donate their bronze mirrors to be melted down. One woman hastily donates her mirror, but regrets her decision soon after. As a result, the mirror refuses to melt, until she kills herself.
Before her suicide, she stated that whomever could break the bell would be given great wealth by her ghost. Many people tried afterward to break the bell, but the furious ringing drove the priests insane, and they rolled the bell down a hill into the swamp and buried it in the mud and algae.
Donnie's gonna build a wall about this one. When I say Ludicolo, what do you think of? Pineapples? Ducks? Mirror B? Mexicans? With those, you'd be mostly right. Ludicolo is based on the Kappa. No, not the Twitch emote. This is a Kappa.
Kappas are river yokai that resemble turtles and ducks. They stand on two legs and suspend a small pond on top of their head. Generally, Kappas are seen as mischievous water spirits that play pranks on the locals, like looking up women's kimonos. Some can even be befriended and help them tend to the fields, but in deeper texts, they're much darker.
Kappas have also been blamed for a number of heinous crimes, including drowning, mauling livestock, eating human flesh, and even more terrible and horrible things that we actually can't mention. So, despite Ludicolo's happy-go-lucky appearance, just remember that there's something more dark and sinister underneath. Just like there's a like button below this video that you should definitely click. There's also a subscribe button to click if you're new here. If you think that we forgot one, you can tell us down in the comments section that's also down there. Man, it's a lot of handy stuff down there. And I want to give a big thanks to Kevin for helping me out.
No problem, and if you guys want more Halloween spooky Pokemon goodness, you can click the iCard in the corner to go over to my channel where Speqtor and I cover some popular, creepy Pokemon theories. Now put on the panda suit.
What? No.
Then why are you wearing it?
What the fuck? Kevin, how the fuck did you do this? Seriously, this isn't cool. What the fuck?
Stay bueno.